Hi everyone, welcome to my studio. My name is Dianne Fago, and here on my YouTube channel I share with you my journaling process, my art journaling process, collage work that I do. I do junk journals, I do mixed media, and just all things like that. And today we are sitting on the floor in the corner of my room. And I have in my bedroom, my art studio is in my room. This is in the corner. I've got a couple of these bookshelves. I think they've got 5 shelves on them. 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 5. And I thought I would do a little bit of a catch up, a check-in. It's been a while since I have posted any videos, since I have shared anything, and I thought that it would be nice to check in with you all, and good for me just to talk about some of the things that have been going on. It is easy for me to start getting in a slump and going downhill and start getting, well, and especially now we're at the tail end of winter, so probably some seasonal depression going on there, but I tend to start focusing on all of the things that I wish that I had done and didn't do, instead of thinking about and looking back and acknowledging all the things that I did get done. And sitting here and talking to you about those things, sometimes it helps me see that actually, even though I feel like I haven't been doing anything, that I actually have. And I actually done several really cool things. So just talking about those helps me. So and you know, then you can just check in and see how things are going. So, but first of all, I've had these books sitting here and I've been wanting to put them away, but I thought I'd do a little bit of a book haul with you and show you just some of the books that I have bought recently. I had not gone to a half-price bookstore for a while. We have one here in Omaha, and I go to it every now and then. I haven't gone for quite a while. I have not been doing any reading for a long time. And I love books, and I just have not had any time to read. And let's see, I think it was the end of October, 1st of November last year, I went down to Kansas City to go to the Nelson Atkins Art Museum. If you live in Kansas, well, obviously if you live in Kansas City, you know. If you are anywhere in that area, if it's a drive that's close for you to make, to go to Kansas City, if you're ever in Kansas City for any reason whatsoever, I highly, highly, highly recommend you going to the Nelson Atkins Art Museum. It is absolutely amazing, and I go down there often. Our art museum here in Omaha has been closed for 3 years. They are doing major renovations. They closed it down 3 years, nothing open, just nothing for 3 years. And the first couple of years I was like, okay, fine. And it was kind of nice because it got me out to where I went to Des Moines, and I went to their art museum, which is beautiful, beautiful art museum in Des Moines. I went to Lincoln. I went to the Sheldon Art Museum, which is on the UNL campus, and it is it's small, but it is a really, really nice museum, which actually I'm trying to figure out some time to go down there. They have an exhibit down there that I would really like to see. But the Nelson Atkins in Kansas City is beautiful. A lot of times, since it's about 3.5 hour drive for me from Omaha, and a lot of times I will just get up in the morning, I will drive down there, I will walk around the museum for 3, 4, 5 hours, which I can do easily by myself, and I will go to Whole Foods, which is right next to the museum. I will grab something to eat, and then I'll drive home. So I just make a day trip of it, and I've been thinking about doing that also soon. It's been a while. Well, I haven't been down there since last year when I went in October, November. And when I went then, it was for the, they had a Monet exhibit. I think it's still there. They had a Monet exhibit, and I wanted to go down and see that, and so I did. Got to see some really, really beautiful Monet paintings that you know, aren't part of the regular collection there. But anyway, so when I was there, I picked up a few books, and I couldn't resist it, and I picked up a few books at their gift shop. And that was just enough to kind of start nudging me to start putting my nose in a book again. And it has been really, really wonderful. I miss reading. I love to read, and I've missed it. I had kind of gotten a while ago to where I wasn't reading. I had pretty much stopped reading fiction. I was reading quite a bit of fiction there for a little while, and I just got to where I've really been interested in nonfiction books. So of course I tend towards art books, and what I picked up and what I saw, and it's funny, I saw it right when I was walking into the museum, the gift shop's right there. But this was the one that I picked up that kind of started everything as far as me starting to read again. And this is about Monet and his painting the water lily paintings, and it has been really fascinating. I'm about halfway through. It's taking me a while, and I'm okay with that. I know that I'm not reading as much as I used to in the past. I'm not getting through books as quickly as I used to, and I'm telling myself that's okay. At least I'm reading. And also by nighttime, I am just so exhausted that I just don't have it in me to even sit and read. If I sit with a book, if I stop moving, then I start getting tired, and like my tiredness starts hitting me hard as soon as I stop moving. So I usually don't stop until it's bedtime. But this is the one that I've been reading, and the other books that I picked up when I was at the museum were this one about Vivian Mayer. They had an exhibit, and I've known about her for a while as far as photography, her being a photographer. And at the time they had an exhibit with a bunch of her work, and it was really interesting. It was really wonderful seeing some of the photos that she's taken, and so I thought that this would be really cool to actually, this isn't who I saw the exhibit for. This isn't who I saw the exhibit for. It was somebody else, and I will figure that out and put it here. That exhibit was really awesome. She's a street photographer, and took other wonderful pictures. This is someone who I had known about. I had heard about her, and so I was very interested in reading more about her. So I picked that up. The other book that I got is this one. It's Frida in America. I saw my one and only Frida painting when I was at the Detroit Institute of Art, and it was so cool getting to see one of her paintings. It was so small. I was so surprised at the size of it. It was maybe about 5 by 7, but it was so beautiful, so colorful. I thought that this would be interesting to read. And then this other one that I got is one that I have been seeing several times. I have gone to, here in Omaha, we have a new, it's not necessarily a museum, it's like a science center, and it's called the Luminarium. And I have been there a few times, and at the gift store there, every time I've been in there, I have picked up and touched and held and looked at this book and never bought it. And when I was at the museum in Kansas City, and I saw it there, and it was the only one there, I was like, okay, fine, I will buy it. It's like, okay, fine, I get it. I guess I'm supposed to read this book because it keeps on popping up in front of me. And so I finally bought it, and I have been reading it here and there. I started reading it a couple of weekends ago when we were in Minneapolis for one of my daughter's show choir competitions. Last minute I decided to go, and so there was some downtime, and I would put my earpods in and read. And this one is pretty science heavy, and so there's a lot in it that is a little bit more confusing to me that I am going slowly, reading this just so that I understand. I honestly will probably start this over. I'm not very far in it whatsoever. I'm on page 29. So I think just because of the environment that I was in when I was trying to read this, and with it being so science-based and lots of words that I don't know, I think I'll probably start this over just because it was noisy, and even though I had my AirPods in, you know, you can hear stuff and there's people everywhere and it's just chaos, and it's a lot at those competitions. So I'll probably start this over, but what I have been reading so far is super fascinating, super interesting, and I'm excited to start reading more about this. So right now, as far as what I am reading, I am currently reading the Monet one and the Your Brain on Art. And then, gosh, it's probably been 2 years ago, I bought this one about Vincent van Gogh, and it is thick and it is heavy with facts. It is not a quick read. I had started it and then stopped and started and stopped and started and stopped. And I am not very far in this whatsoever. Actually, I think my bookmark is falling out. It's fascinating, and it's really, really interesting to read all this, but this goes back to even to like his great-grandparents. So it's got all the facts, and I am taking forever to read this. What I ended up actually doing last week is I got the Audible for it. And so now when I'm working on other things, you know, just busy stuff, or when I'm at work in the morning and I'm doing my prep work, I can wear my AirPods and listen to things while I'm doing my work. And so I can listen to that then. So as far as with all of the information in this and all the people and the cousins and the aunts and the uncles and the grandpas and this city and that city and all of that, it's helping me to hear it better instead of reading it, especially since it has quotes in it that are in Dutch, and you know, the cities are Dutch, and they're ones that I get hung up on trying to figure out how to pronounce things instead of just like reading it and moving on. And so by listening to this, it's kind of helping me get through it a lot better, to where I'm focused more on what I'm hearing and the story than the words, as far as like just the words that I don't maybe necessarily understand or can't pronounce. So those are the 3 that I'm reading right now. So actually, I'm missing one. Hold tight. Okay, I realized that I had one on my bookshelf that I put away that was part of one of these stacks. As far as books that I've ordered, I recently ordered this one about Basquiat, and I'm sure that I have mispronounced his name. I follow him on Instagram, his account on Instagram that's run by his family, and recently there's been a big tour. It's his King Pleasure tour that has been going around. I wish that I had been able to see it somewhere, but I have not. But I had been looking at this for a little while, and it went on sale a few months ago, and so I decided to go ahead and get it, and it is really wonderful. I'm really excited to start looking through that, and I'm wondering if maybe I should put this up so that I can show you what's inside of these as I go through them, because it might make it a little bit more worth it since a lot of these are art books. So I think I'm going to move this over to my desk instead of being on the floor. But this, real quick, since we are here, these shelves right here are all of the books where I have all my collage, my books that I have gotten to do where I cut things out for collage. They're basically kind of sorted in categories. Up here is just more floral type things. I know you can't see in that corner. This is butterflies. There's like one on birds. There's a couple on birds, but these are mainly butterflies. All this down here on the bottom, these are all garden type ones. Garden as in, let's see, about right here. These are just some of these. Let me pull it out. Oh gosh, that I had picked up. What's these Time Life encyclopedia ones? I had gotten several of these online, but there are, all of these are floral ones. All of these on this end are roses. I have lots of roses ones, but these are all ones that I cut out for collage. Over here on this side are a lot of the bigger ones. There's some that are like, there's an ocean one, there's a couple space ones, there's skyscrapers. I've got a couple of old vintage Sears catalogs that I picked up at a big, huge antique fair. This is from 1962. So that's what I've got all there. These here are books that actually are kind of journals, wanting to be journals, could be journals. So I guess technically I've got 3 shelves worth of collage books, and I will be adding to that as I show you some of the ones that I just got. So let's go ahead and get moved over, and I will show you better what I've picked up. Okay, so we are on my work area now, so I can show you these books better. So I was talking about this one, Jean-Michel Basquiat. I had a little bit of help from Google on pronouncing his name correctly. But this is the one that I had ordered online, and I am really excited to look through it. I have seen one of his paintings. They have one on display in Des Moines at the Des Moines Art Museum. So it was really cool getting to see that. And then one time when I was at Barnes & Noble, I saw this and I picked it up as well. So actually, I'm sure that they have the one that I've seen in here that I saw in Des Moines. I would have to pull it up on my phone to see what it's called and to find it in here, but that's what this is. It's just mainly all of his artwork. So I have those. And then I was just poking around on Amazon looking for to see if there's any floral books that caught my eye, because I love getting floral books. I try to buy them used, or to get, find them at half-price bookstore, thrift stores, things like that. But I don't know what got into me, and I saw these 2 books and I went ahead and picked them up. They were a lot smaller, especially this one, than I thought that they were going to be, but to be honest, I didn't even look to see what size of the book was. But these are both from the same publisher, which actually, now that I look at it, this one is too. So I got both of these on Amazon. I do not remember how much they were, but I just was needing something new, and I'm sure some of it was just an impulse buy and things like that, but I went ahead and picked these up, and it is just full of these beautiful plates of all these different plants. So that is what is in these. I love cutting these botanicals out. I absolutely love cutting botanicals out to use on my pages. So that is what is in this one. And then this one, and this is another one that I had to look up to see how to pronounce it. It's Florilegium. I think that was it. And basically that means an anthology. So I had to look it up because I was like, I don't know what this word is. So that is it. And I mean, look at that, just right there. Oh, these poppies. So it's just pretty much all the same thing. There actually might be duplicates in here. I'm not sure, but just all of these different florals. They're just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So, but these are, you know, quite a bit smaller than this size. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. So I had picked those up. I've had these a couple months probably. So that is those. And then I went to where did I go? I went to Minneapolis. I went to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and it's about 5.5 hours north of Omaha. And my daughter had a show choir competition in the area, and I wasn't gonna go, and because it was kid week, so I had my kids that week, and so I had my son, and so, you know, I guess in my mind it was always, well, since I can't chaperone, then I can't go. So, which is silly because you can go, it doesn't matter. But I found out I've been really off on my days and just working so much that I've just been an autopilot. And I did not realize that I had Friday off that they had this competition, which was the same day that they were leaving for Minneapolis. And so I basically found out Wednesday that I didn't work Friday. And my daughter got in the car Wednesday after I picked her up from school, and I said, what do you think about your brother and I going to Minneapolis with you? And she's like, awesome. And so I looked at my son and I said, do you want to go on a road trip? And he's like, heck yeah. So we got home and packed Thursday and then left Friday morning I think we left here at about 5 o'clock in the morning. So, and drove to Minneapolis and stayed through Sunday. So we were there Friday through Sunday. We got there Friday afternoon and left Sunday morning. So that was a really fun impromptu trip. I really needed it. It was really nice to get out. It was nice to get away. I can't say that it was relaxing very much because competitions in show choir, it's a lot. And the where it was at was about 30 miles away from where our hotel was at, where we were staying, which was the same one that the kids were staying. But so anytime I went back and forth, it was 30 miles, and but it was awesome. I'm so glad that I went there. All 3 of the groups that competed got first place, and then the grand champion, the varsity squad, got grand champion of the whole show. So it was an amazing experience, and so proud of my daughter for all of the hard work that she put in being in show choirs. So it is a huge commitment. And so our first day, we got there at about 12:30 in the afternoon, and immediately they started out. They didn't go straight to the hotel. They went straight to Mall of America. So that is what my son and I did. So we were at Mall of America for, oh gosh, from 12:30 until about 6 o'clock, which is a long time to be there. I'm not a big shopper. I say that as I show you all these books. I'm not a fan of going to the mall and walking around slowly and shopping and just going into all the stores and seeing all the things. That's just not my thing anymore. But you know, there of course is the indoor amusement park in there with roller coasters and all sorts of rides. They had zip line, they had rock climbing walls and things like that. So my son did all of those things, and as he was before, our deal was we went to a few of the stores. Of course, we had to go to the big Lego store, but we went to the couple stores that we wanted to go to. Then I went into Barnes & Noble and to get a book. I was going to go in there to get a book And then he could go do all the rides and do all the things, and then I would have something. I'd have a book with me to read, which of course I brought a book with me to read. I brought that Monet book with me, but it was in my car and I needed something right then. So I ran into Barnes & Noble and went to the art section, and this, well, I thought maybe I'd find a Van Gogh, something, and I stumbled across this, and I thought that it looked really interesting with reading the one about Monet. He does talk about Matisse. It's really interesting to be reading the Monet one about how all these different really famous artists that are famous to us now, how so many of them were alive at the same time. They were hanging out in Paris. They were, you know, they were all like intermingling with each other, that you just don't, you know, it was a lot smaller, close-knit, like, situation than I really realized. So I was really drawn. It's interesting to hear how they all intermingle with Monet, and so that is kind of what drew me to picking out this book right here. So I picked it up, and then I saw this one from about Van Gogh, and I thought it looked really interesting. I had not seen this one anywhere at, you know, any of the bookstores that I had been in, so I wanted to get it, and I imagine that the one that I have seen is in here. They have, this is the one, well, I saw this. this painting is in the Minneapolis Art Institute, the Minneapolis Institute of Art. I saw this in person and cried. This picture does not do that painting justice whatsoever. The sunshine in this picture is so vibrant. It is so beautiful, and this painting is the biggest one that I have seen of his size-wise, and I was just in awe. I can talk a little bit. Actually, I think this is the one that I've seen. They have this one at the Nelson Atkins Art Museum in Kansas City, so I've seen this one, and I've seen this one in these books. So yeah, so of course I was really interested in this, so I picked this up, and then this one has been in my wish list for a little while. I did see the movie. I was really underwhelmed with the movie, and really underwhelmed with the movie, and I was really excited about seeing it because it looked so interesting, and usually Joaquin Phoenix is just amazing in things, but it just was not it. And I knew that there was like so much more to his story than what they were even touching on in the movie. And so I did a little bit of research, and this one came up as one of the best books to read about Napoleon, and they had it there at Barnes & Noble. So I went ahead and picked it up, and it's not going to be a light read, and it's way different than any of the other books that I have been getting, but I thought it would be fun to get. So maybe this summer or something, when I have a little bit more downtime, I can read that. So these are what I picked up at Barnes & Noble. Then whenever we were at the Minneapolis Institute of Arts, I wasn't there for very long. I did not get to go through the whole museum. The museum is gorgeous. I saw a Picasso, and they had several Matisse. They had a couple of Degas, several Monet. I saw one of his haystack paintings, which was really exciting because in the book that I'm reading about the water lilies, it mentions his painting the haystacks, and so I was really super exciting to get to see one of those. So those were some of my highlights for sure, and I cannot wait to go back to where I can just walk slowly through there. But since I wasn't able to see everything, I thought it would be fun to have their catalog. And so that's what this is. This is just a catalog of their permanent collection that they have, and lots and lots and lots of beautiful, beautiful things. Actually, this right here, this statue was amazing. I do have pictures of it. I did walk by it. It looks like it's real fabric covering her eyes. It was absolutely, absolutely incredible. Let's see. Yeah, I saw this Surratt was really, really neat. This was by where the Van Gogh was. And I have a close-up picture of this little guy because, you know, it's pointillism. And so this is just all of the little teeny dots. So seeing him and his shadow just made up of those little dots. Suzanne, there's the Van Gogh that I saw. This one is a little bit better as far as the vibrancy goes of this. I could have stood in front of this painting for I don't know how long. Walking around through that museum trying to find it, I'd kind of peeked at their map so that I knew what floor it was on, and I thought I kind of knew where it was at, and I got turned around once we were in there looking for it, and it was like a treasure hunt looking for this. And my son and I were just like, you know, we'd think that we were kind of in the right spot, and we'd go around the corner and it wasn't there, and it wasn't there, and it wasn't there. And then finally we went through this one area, and I remember walking through the little entryway, and I turned and looked to my left, and there it was. And I just stopped in my tracks. My mouth just went open, and yeah, and literally, like, I started getting tears in my eyes because it was just so beautiful. And then I actually ended up sitting down on a bench and talking for quite a while to this really, really nice lady. We talked about just Vincent van Gogh, and she's lucky enough to have gone overseas to where she had seen, you know, some of his paintings at other places, and big dreams of mine. But it was really, really, really fun. Let's go on. There's the Degas. Here's the haystack one that I saw. And it was just beautiful. You know, you can talk about it, but until you actually stand in front of it and you can see the paint strokes and just everything close up, it was just it was so exciting to get to see those. So actually the first thing that I did after I had decided to go to Minneapolis, the first thing I did was pulled up the Minneapolis, just see what art museum that they had in the city. And, you know, and then I saw, and with the purpose to see if they had any Van Goghs. And so once they did, I thought, you know what, I don't care what I have to do, but I am going to see that painting. It doesn't matter if I run in there and that's the only painting that I see and I have to turn around. I'm not going to like leave that city without going in to see that painting. And that's pretty much what I ended up having to do, but I made it happen and I cannot wait to go back. But so I got that, and then I got this one, which is about the olive groves. So once again, I think I opened this one up and showed, yeah. Since I've seen 2 of his paintings now with the olive groves. So that is what I picked up while I was in Minnesota. And then there's more. Then I have the big stack. I had not, now that I've gotten myself buying books and reading books and getting super excited about reading again, I have not been to half-price bookstores in a long time. And the other day, I just wanted something to do, and I kept on thinking about going there to see what they had. And so I went 2 half-price bookstores and poked around in there for way too long and bought a big old huge stack of books. But once again, I'm really super excited with what I found. I'll start from the smallest to the biggest. And I went ahead and left stickers on ones just so you can kind of see what I paid for them. But this one is the letters of Vincent van Gogh. It's not all of them, but it is some of the letters that he wrote. So that will be one that'll be nice just to kind of read here and there. I'm not going to read this one as a read straight through book. I think maybe every day, maybe I'll just read one of the letters, 1 or 2 of the letters. So I got that one for $5.49. And then I got this, which is The Lady in Gold. It's about Klimt. It's about his painting of this woman. So I had seen this one. I remember when this came out, and I remember looking at it but didn't buy it. So I went ahead and picked it up. And then whenever I was over in the section, usually when I go in there, I start out in where the butterflies are at. So I'm in the nature section. And I ended up, picking up this one because I was very intrigued with it. And it is called, it's The Tree, A Natural History of What Trees Are, How They Live, and Why They Matter. And I, several years ago, started reading a book called The Overstory. And it is about trees, and it's really fascinating. It's a fiction book, but it's really fascinating. I have not finished it. I need to finish it. And I saw these, and it got me thinking about that book, and I was just really, really drawn to grabbing this one. So I did. that's why. So I thought, you know what? It's calling me for a reason and wants to be read. And so I went ahead and picked it up. Another one along the same line. Actually, I think I saw this one first. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. But this one is along the same lines. It's just another book about trees. So it also looks really interesting, and I am looking forward to reading this one as well. So that's that one. And then there's one more along the same lines. The Nature Fix, Why Nature Makes Us Happier, Healthier, and More Creative. So those are the 3 nature type reading books that I got. But also when I was over in that section, I came across this. And it's that same publisher. But I came across this, you know, I'm seeing it like this, and I'm like, I don't have any idea what this is. And I kind of looked past it a few times. So I thought, you know, I guess when I saw this, I thought this might be like sea life or something. And I thought, you know, I don't really know if that's anything that I want or need. I pulled it out and I was like, oh my gosh. So it is full of these plates of everything, any sort of animal, insect, plant, sea life. It's shells. It's just absolutely beautiful. So I'm not sure. I mean, look at this. I had to get it, and I was like, well, those are not things that I can necessarily cut out, but maybe even just use just this whole part as on my journal. I don't know, but I could not put this back up on the shelf. It's just fascinating what is all in it. I mean, it's everything. And I was just, even now when I'm looking at it, I'm just like, Oh my goodness. I mean, even the snakes are cool. And I'm like terrified of snakes, like absolutely terrified of snakes. But that is what this is. And for $15, that is way on the high side of what I usually pay for a used book to cut up. But this one is pretty special. So I went ahead and got it. I mean, it's everything. I'm just like, just absolutely beautiful. So there's that. It has a few plants, but not a lot. It's mostly animals and insects. So that is what that is. Then also in the same area, they had this one. And this is another, I mean, this is way, way above what I usually would pay. I thought that I had one of these already, and it turns out that I do, but I went ahead and bought this one just in case, and just because it's a beautiful, beautiful book, and I haven't really figured out how I want to use this one. And I'm not sure. I'm almost tempted now that I have two to where I could actually do, like, use this for a journal and, you know, I don't know, cover up the written parts that I want to with paint or with other images or whatnot and leave the florals or add on to it. I'm thinking maybe something along those lines. So that way I have one that I can turn into a journal, and then I have one that that I can cut from if I want to. But these, it's a beautiful book, absolutely beautiful book. And so I went ahead, and that was my splurge, is I got that. Let's see. So next I picked up this one, and this is from the same series, which was interesting because I have this one. So this is like the same. I don't know how many there are in this series, but this is from the same people. So I was really excited to find this one with Van Gogh. And with him, I've been drawn more to buying less ones that are just picture books, and more towards ones that I can actually learn something about him. So that's why I picked that up. Then this one goes along the same lines. I thought this one was really interesting. It's just to see, you know, about his family, friends, and the models. So let's see. That's what this one looks like inside. I know that I have seen, and that I love that there's like some of his letters, his correspondence with people. It talks about just the different people who he's painted. I have seen one of the ones with the postman. I think this one's it. Yes, I have seen this one. They have this one in Detroit. So that's probably another reason why I was really drawn to getting this one, is because I have seen I've seen one of the ones where he's painted somebody. So that is what this one is. And there's one last one. This one right here. As you can tell, I'm a little bit obsessed with Vincent van Gogh. If you haven't figured that out yet, that and more, it's more so, and just other artists as well. I'm really enjoying learning more about them, especially just them as people. So this is the other one that I picked up, and it is obviously more along the line, the picture line of just being being pictures of ones that he has painted. So there's the one that I just saw. It's just, I just can't even describe it. Can't even describe it. Next on my list though is this one. They have this, the bedroom. They have this at the Art Institute of Chicago. This is next on my list. Now that I've learned that this one is so close to me and it is one of his iconic ones, I think, you know, if you have any grasp or concept of art, if you see this, you kind of know that this is Vincent van Gogh's bedroom. So to know that one like that is so close by, this is on my list next, is to try to plan a trip to Chicago so that I can see that. So, but that's what this one is. I think I'm good now. I need to stop on ones like this. I really do like this book. I was looking at these because I've actually seen one of these of him and his hat. And it's not this one. I don't know if it's in the book, this book. I don't think it is. It's one of these that it's in his hat, but it's not this one. This one, it says, is in the Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art. So the one that I saw is in Detroit. So, and his florals are just beautiful. Besides the sunflower one, I really did not realize how many florals he's actually painted. I think everybody kind of knows about the sunflowers, but all of these other ones, and I have seen one of his florals. They have one of his florals. Let's see, this one. This is the one. Basic Carnations is at the Detroit Institute of Art. So this is it. This is the one that I've seen. So yeah, that is that. I also saw one of his still lifes. They have a still life at Detroit also. So there we go. So that's it. That is what I have been picking up here and there for the past many months. I didn't like buy these all at once. So I didn't buy them all at once, but yeah, that's quite a book haul. I think I might turn you around a bit and we'll finish up talking for just a little bit. All right, so that is all my books that I bought, and now I'm just trying to decide, and this is really silly, and I was told this is my OCD coming out, but now I'm trying to decide, since I've been growing my collection of art books more, I've always just kind of had them all on a shelf, all grouped together. So now I'm trying to decide. Right now they go from height, they're organized by height, so tallest to shortest. Trying to decide if I want to group things together, like by topics or by artists, since I have so many of Vincent van Gogh. If I want those together, I have several about Andy Warhol and just a couple other random ones. So that is what I need to figure out next. My hair is all over the place. It's been a long day, and it's been a really long day. So that's what I need to decide next, and I'm kind of leaning towards grouping them by topic. I think it would be neat to have all of my Van Gogh books together, and then kind of everything else organized along beside them. So my art subject books has been growing a lot lately. So I have that. I think I might do that tomorrow. So But I wanted to show you all those first. I didn't want to put everything away on the bookshelf before I shared. So now I can do that. So as far as other things go, like I said, I have felt like I haven't been doing anything, and that I really went through a huge just period of feeling stagnant and just feeling like I am just going in circles. And a lot of that has been with, well, with both of my jobs. So I've mentioned this before, my day job has gone up to 8 hours a day. It's an extremely strenuous job. I'm a lunch lady, which I know doesn't seem like it would be that much, but on average, by the time I get off work, I've done at least 20,000 steps, if not 25,000 steps, and that's by 2 o'clock. So that is a lot. And we're short-handed, and so basically it's 4 people doing the job of 6. So my day job is extremely strenuous, and my night jobs went up to sometimes working 3.5 to 4 hour nights. And so basically I'm working until 3 o'clock. Now I would get home, change my clothes into my other job's outfit, and then work to almost 8 o'clock sometimes, 4 to 7:30. And I would get home and that's it. I was done. And that has affected me in a whole lot of ways. I have been in burnout for a while. I did not kind of really see that that's where I was at, and where I'm at and where I'm pulling myself out of. But it got pretty intense there for a while. I'm not used to coming home and just like not being able to do anything. So usually I'd, get home from work, and then I'd have energy to do other things, and those other things were always art related, and I haven't had it in me to do anything art related in a while, and that affects me badly. So I need that to help me just get through day to day. That's how I cope. It's my emotional release. It's a creative release. And when I don't have that, I start spiraling down pretty quickly. And that's what I did, on top of just being exhausted physically. Then that makes me get exhausted mentally. And then that starts affecting my eating habits. When I get stressed, when I get overworked, when I get tired, when I get overwhelmed, I stop eating and I just have no appetite. And so then I'm already struggling with my iron and my vitamin D. And when you're short on both of those, that affects your energy, which then affects, everything else. It's like a huge, horrible, vicious cycle. And that is where I've been. So I'm trying, I'm not trying, I am finally kind of, now that I've really seen it and am realizing what's going on and where I've been, I am now in the process of slowly and surely just building myself up out of that and getting myself back, because I really have felt just like nothing besides work. That, I haven't felt like anything besides just a worker, and that's it. And I can't do that anymore. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people work constantly, and I don't know how you do it. I don't know how people do it, and I've needed to do it because I'm I'm a single parent and life is really, really, really expensive, and it's a lot. It's a lot on a single parent's shoulders, especially I think moms, and I know it's hard for dads also, but you know, and or maybe just being an empath, things like that, it's just the way that my brain is, to put everybody else first and to worry about everybody over me. And I've got kids, I've got, you know, 5 kids, 2 of them are home. I worry just as much as about my big kids, my grown-up kids, and my 3 grandkids as I do my 2 kids that are home. So it's easy for me to get so focused on them and putting them first that then once again that just fits all back into that really vicious cycle of, it's just a vicious cycle. So anyways, as far as things that I have done that I need to think about and be happy about and be proud about doing, just driving to Minneapolis was a really big deal. I got in my little car and I drove up to Minneapolis in a snowstorm. It was a snowstorm all the way through Iowa until we got to the Minnesota border. It was a pretty treacherous drive as far as just visibility and whatnot. There wasn't a lot on the roads. It wasn't like it was super slick, but it was just stressful. And in the past, I was always really nervous about driving in big cities. And so I was a little anxious about that because I had been to Minneapolis once before. Usually whenever we would go on big road trips, I would do all the interstate driving, and then as soon as we got close to the city, then we would switch drivers, and my ex-husband would drive around through town because he just did better in that situation than I did. So I had been to Minneapolis. It was a long time ago. I think Elliot and I decided, he was 4, I think it was 2014 whenever I was there last. And so, you know, I was a little anxious at first about getting there and driving around the city, but I did really well. And so I'm really proud of myself because I did that. So, and just seeing that van go, so that is massive. That's probably the biggest thing. One of the biggest things that's happened these past few months. The kids and I have seen several Broadway plays. I got the Broadway season subscription for this past year. So we've been finishing up the plays through the rest of the season. We saw, what did we see? Well, we saw A Christmas Carol at the Community Playhouse, which was amazing. That was in December. We've seen Tina, the Tina Turner musical. We saw My Fair Lady. We saw Beetlejuice. That was lots of fun. And we saw Shrek, the musical, on Sunday. We saw that in Lincoln. We've seen a few shows down in Lincoln at their Performing Arts Center. We just saw Shrek. Last weekend, I went and saw Cabaret at the Community Playhouse, and it was really, really, really good. It was really amazing. So those are all things that I've like done, and I'm sitting here telling myself that I haven't been doing a lot, but I have. So it's silly that I feel like I haven't, but I don't know if part of that is because I haven't been doing anything creative. So I think that, but the other part is that I know that there's like so many things that I haven't been doing that I did in the past that I've been missing because I've been too tired. So maybe that's part of it too. I don't know. I feel like there's something else that we did or that I've done, but I don't know. I don't think so. So anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. I am really thankful that you're here. I'm thankful for your support and for listening and for being here. And I tell you, I still have that coffee page stuff. It is here, it is in my mind, and it all wants to come out. And I know what I want to do. I know how I want to do it. And it is it's me holding myself back, and that's it. And I feel terribly, I feel terrible about it, because I have so much that I want to share and so much that I want to give. And I think in that situation, with it being on a coffee page, so kind of like Patreon, but it's called Coffee, there'd be different levels. I have it all planned out for each level. It's me holding myself back. It's a big step. It's a big commitment. I've got the big self-doubt demon that's having fun messing with me. It's like, it's getting over that. It's like, I'm just right there. I'm just like right there. I'm so close. And then something goes on, something happens, and it knocks me back down to where, you know, I'm kind of not like in a position to where I'm able to start that. And I was really, really hoping to do that during my spring break, and I don't know if it's gonna be able to happen. So that's kind of where I am with all that. And I'm completely aware that it is myself holding myself back, and it's really frustrating, because I know that it would help me out in a whole lot of ways besides being financial assistance for me and my children. It's what I want to do. It's what makes me happy. And it's so silly for me not to be doing everything that I can to get through this little hurdle that I'm standing in front of, to where I can just jump over that and do all those things that I'm wanting to do, that I know I want to do, that I know I want to share, that I know is like what I'm supposed to be doing with myself. But I'm not. So yeah. Anyways, that's that. And I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to my living room. And get tired of being in my room all the time. So if you've got anything that you'd like to share, I would love to hear it. If you have any books that you're reading that you would like to share with me that you think that I might enjoy, I would love to hear about them. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm gonna stop rambling, and I'm going to go be someplace where it's not so bright. I finally went to the eye doctor. I've been needing to go for a couple years. It had been a couple years since I got my new glasses, since I got these guys. And lately, well, it's been a while now, probably for the past year, as I've really been doing all those super intricate cutting out of things for my collage journal and things like that. I have noticed that I'm really close to my work area, that I'm not seeing through my progressive lenses as closely as I would like to, or as I need to be working on things like that. And that even just with reading, that I'm having a hard time like figuring out where to put the book, that it's not, I needed something stronger. So I'd been putting it off for a couple of years. I've just passed due of my yearly checkup, and finally yesterday I was like, you know what, that's it, this is ridiculous, I need new glasses. And so I was actually able to get in today and had my appointment. I ended up getting 2 pairs. I explained to him that I'm an artist and what I do and where I was struggling. And so I have my regular prescription needed to be bumped up a bit because it had changed, but then he also fitted me for basically like, I mean, they're bifocals, and my bottom layer has ultra strong so that I can see very clearly up close. And we even figured out the distance, you know, where I'm usually at when I'm working and what's the best distance for the most strength. So he called them my art glasses. So I have art glasses ordered. So, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to get them, and I know that they're gonna help me out a lot. So since they are so strong, the place where I get my glasses, they aren't able to do those in-house, and so they had to get sent out. So I have to wait 7 to 10 days to get my new glasses, but I finally did them. So once again, that's like something that I've been putting off forever that I finally did. So then the only problem with all that is that my appointment was this morning at 10:30, and he dilated my eyes, and I think my eyes were fully blown open. Ugh, I had Tai Chi today. I've been doing Tai Chi twice a week, and I love it. And I left around 3:30 to go to that. And I peeked at my eyes then because they still felt like really, really strained, and my eyes were still dilated. So they had been dilated from 10:30 until 3:30. So, and part of that just like fully, I peeked at them a couple of times and they were just huge. So my pupils were just ginormous. So I realized actually then around, I was about 2 o'clock whenever I went and checked in, because I thought, why did my eyes still feel so crazy? And, but my eyes are really sore. They're tired. I can tell that they're really strained from being like that for so long. And I get ocular migraines very easily, especially with lights, and especially just with kind of lights, like spotlights and things like that, or just like one bright light. And I have to be really careful with things like that anymore, because it doesn't take that much to trigger them. So I've been kind of worried that that might happen today, just since my eyes have been so fried all day long. So I think for the rest of tonight, I haven't decided what to do, because everything that you do, you have to use your eyes, and my eyes are so tired. Because I kind of like to just maybe sit and read, or I don't know if I feel like sitting and watching a movie, or I don't know, but I need to just kind of like be still and be quiet for a little bit for the rest of this night, since it was kind of a long day and my eyes are just tired. So I did that. There's been a couple other things like that this week that I've been like slowly just like chiseling off these things that I've had written down for months, some of them since, you know, November, December of last year, and before, even before that. I've like today been slowly like checking those off, even though some of them were so simple. I went the other day and renewed my library card. So that's another one that I've had written down for a long time. I have 2 more shows at our community playhouse that I had a voucher for my seat, but I had not called to reserve a seat, and I've been putting that off for months, and I did that today. So I'm getting stuff done. I'm slowly but surely. So anyways, I'm gonna go. I know I already said that, but now I'm really gonna go, and I hope you're all doing well, and spring is coming, and I cannot wait to get this plastic off my sliding door so that I can go outside and get some fresh air. But our nights still get really cold here, so not yet, but things will get better whenever I can get out and walk and just be outside and get some sunshine and things like that. So take care, everybody. I will talk to you again very soon, I hope. I've got several process videos that I have in progress that need to just be finished. A couple of them just need the introduction part filmed. I did do a flip through of a little field notes size journal that I realized I hadn't done a flip through yet. I have a couple other journals that I found that I realized I have never done flip throughs before, so I would like to get those done. So hopefully within these next couple weeks, I'll have some videos to share with you, and we will just go from there. So I will talk to you again really soon. I hope you're doing well. I love you so much. Thank you for everything, for being here, for listening, and I will talk to you again really, really soon.